The Jets quarterback has recently opened up about the internal leaks affecting the team. According to him, there are some concerning issues unfolding within the team's structure, which could impact their future. Adding to the confusion, the underperformance of the No. 8 player is only making matters worse. This brings up the question, how reliable is the information circulating about the team, especially given its questionable sources? These leaks are putting extra pressure on Rodgers, and they could even change the course of his plans for 2025. So, the big question here is, will these leaks make Rodgers rethink his future with the Jets? And perhaps, will the organization finally decide that enough is enough, choosing to go in a different direction? Things are definitely looking more complicated by the day for Rodgers and the Jets. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are facing some serious challenges, not just on the field, but off it as well. The quarterback recently accused the organization of having leaks within the upper management, a situation that's not unheard of in the NFL, but it's particularly common in struggling teams like the Jets. The leaks seem to come from frustrated team members, who, by speaking anonymously to the media, could be fueling growing speculation around Rodgers. The timing of these leaks is crucial. Rodgers was initially expected to be benched and replaced earlier in the season, but now rumors are circulating that he could be benched for the rest of the season. With all this swirling around, the question remains, is it worth keeping him on the team moving forward? These leaks are certainly adding fuel to an already fiery situation. Woody Johnson, the Jets owner, made a huge investment when he brought Aaron Rodgers over from the Green Bay Packers. But now, it seems like that decision might backfire. There are growing concerns that Rodgers may not even start for the Jets in the upcoming games, let alone be a key player in the future. Besides the ongoing debate about whether Rodgers should have been benched earlier in the season in favor of Tyrod Taylor, there's now talk that he might not even finish out the season with the Jets at all. The hefty sum Johnson paid for Rodgers is now starting to look like a questionable investment, especially considering the team's current performance. To make matters worse, the Jets recently parted ways with head coach Robert Saleh and promoted offensive coordinator Britch, who's led the team to a dismal 1-6 record since taking over. This has only intensified the pressure on Rodgers and the rest of the organization. When it comes to Rodgers, the situation is becoming increasingly tense. Despite the turmoil surrounding the Jets, Rodgers has publicly backed the interim head coach, Britch, showing strong support. Rodgers believes Britch is the right man to lead the team out of its current struggles, stating, "I'm all in on him, I love him." However, Rodgers also made it clear that his future with the team is uncertain, acknowledging that things could change drastically over the next few weeks. He pointed out that while he'd love to continue playing under Britch's leadership, it's ultimately out of his control. Rodgers' comments reflect the instability within the team, as even the quarterback himself isn't sure what the future holds. Will this support for Britch be enough to keep Rodgers in the fold, or will the pressure from all sides force bigger changes soon? For Jets fans, the situation surrounding Rodgers might sting a bit more than expected. The 40-year-old quarterback, who's already been struggling with injuries to his knee and hamstring, is facing even bigger challenges. The fact that he's just recovering from an ACL injury makes any hopes of him returning to his former MVP level feel like a distant dream. Given his current condition and the Jets' disappointing season, it's looking less and less likely that Rodgers will be able to lead them to the playoffs or even turn their season around. The team's poor performance, sitting at 3 wins and 8 losses, raises serious doubts about whether Rodgers still has what it takes to be the face of the franchise. For the Jets, the clock is ticking and the road to recovery seems long and uncertain. The Jets' options moving forward are clear. If they decide to move on from Rodgers as their starting quarterback in 2025, they could save a significant amount of money. Rodgers' contract is hefty, with a salary of around $49 million next year. If the Jets choose to part ways, that money could be better spent on a younger, more dynamic quarterback who could help bring the team back to relevance. But the question remains, will Rodgers' relationship with owner Woody Johnson deteriorate to the point where they part ways earlier than expected? As of now, reports indicate that both sides are considering a mutual parting of ways in 2025, but given the tension that's been brewing, it's not hard to imagine things could escalate even sooner. Could we be seeing the end of Rodgers' time with the Jets sooner than anyone anticipated? Rodgers' performance this season has been solid, with 24 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, but it's not enough to hide the glaring issues within the Jets' offense. The team is inconsistent, and while Rodgers has shown flashes of his old self, he's far from being the dominant player the Jets expected him to be. The Packers, on the other hand, might be breathing a sigh of relief right now, as they managed to avoid the full fallout of Rodgers' struggles. Having moved him off their roster and onto the Jets, they now look like the winners in this situation. With the Jets currently sitting at a 3-8 record, it's becoming clearer that the team is in disarray, and Rodgers' future with them is anything but guaranteed. This could very well be a case of what could have been, as the Jets now face a rebuilding phase that no one saw coming. The internal dynamics of the Jets are unraveling quickly, and it's not just the players who are feeling the pressure. Following the firing of general manager Joe Douglas, the team is facing a crossroads. The Jets have announced that they'll consult with the 33rd team, a group of former NFL executives, coaches, and players to help guide them in filling the vacant GM and head coach positions. This is a critical moment for the franchise, as the team needs strong leadership to get back on track. However, with the team already sitting at the bottom of their division and showing no signs of improvement, the pressure is mounting. The next few weeks will be crucial, as the Jets have reached a point where they can no longer afford to sit back and wait. Change is inevitable, but how far will the Jets be willing to go to turn things around? With everything going on in the Jets organization right now, one thing is certain: the leaks within the team are a major obstacle to their success. These internal issues are preventing the team from coming together and making meaningful progress. The question on everyone's mind is, will the Jets be able to put these leaks behind them and move forward as a cohesive unit? And more importantly, will Rodgers stick around or be part of the massive shakeup that seems to be on the horizon? As the 2024 season unfolds, it's clear that the Jets have some serious decisions to make. With the team at a crossroads, it's hard to predict what the future holds, but one thing is for sure: the next few weeks will be critical in determining the Jets' future and whether Rodgers will remain at the center of their plans. And that's a wrap on today's breakdown. The New York Jets are at a critical point in their season, with so much uncertainty surrounding Aaron Rodgers, the leaks within the organization, and the potential changes ahead. Whether it's Rodgers' future with the team or the broader structural shifts that might be on the way, one thing is clear: the Jets need a serious reset if they want to move forward. But now, I want to hear from you. What do you think is going to happen next for the Jets? Will they stick with Rodgers, or is it time to cut ties and start fresh? Do you believe the team can turn things around with a new coach and new direction? Or is this season just a glimpse into a longer, tougher rebuild? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments. I love reading your opinions, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of different takes on what's next for the Jets and Rodgers. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this analysis helpful, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the latest NFL news and insights. I'll be covering all the twists and turns of this story as it unfolds. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, take care and keep your eyes on the field. Things are only getting more interesting from here.